So we'll just get straight into it. If you don't mind just telling us your first name.
I am Carly. Okay.
Could you just tell us a little bit about your childhood?
Yeah, oh my goodness. So it's crazy because before my sister came into the world, I was the most vibrant kid. I was so wild and like you couldn't tame me. But at the same time, I had that placidness about me that I was just calm too. So it was just really easy to have me around. And then when I became the second to last and my sister was born, everything changed. I became this perfectionist and I felt like I wasn't seen, wasn't heard, wasn't understood, and everything changed from there.
What were your dreams as a kid?
My dreams. Actually, my dreams as a kid was to be a teacher, a kindergarten teacher. And I wanted to not only be a kindergarten teacher for the academics, but it was mostly for that character education part of it. I wanted to help the next generation be able to really, really know how to take care of this world and make a difference in the world.
Could you tell us a little bit about your relationship with your dad and how that relationship felt?
Oh my goodness. So it's really interesting because my relationship with my dad, he was there physically, but emotionally, I didn't feel like he was there. I felt like he was always focused like on my little sister, and I felt like I really just kind of got pushed to the corner in a way. And it's just so interesting now because to talk to him about it now, what I thought compared to like what he thought is just, it's crazy to think about.
How was that growing up?
How was that growing up? It was hard. It was really hard because he worked a lot and he would come home and he would spend time with us, but I felt like he needed to keep working. And I felt like he couldn't be there the way that he wanted to be there. And when he was there, I felt like he always wanted to videotape my younger sister. And I just felt like I wasn't really seen.
How's your relationship now with him?
It's amazing. It's so wonderful that we've been able to really work through it. And I have talked to him and been able to really help him understand where I was, and he was able to explain to me where he was and what he was thinking during that time.
What about your relationship with your mom and how that felt?
Yeah, my relationship with my mom, it's really interesting because I didn't really have a relationship with her. I felt like I wasn't good enough for her and I was too loud and just, I mean, I'm fun, I'm weird, and I brought that into everything I did, and she was so overwhelmed herself. So it was really hard for her to hear me and all my crazy dancing and all my singing and all that. And so, yeah, we didn't really have a relationship.
How'd you deal with that growing up, or how was that?
So how I dealt with it, actually, I became a perfectionist because I thought, hey, maybe she'll see me. If I can be the best at everything and be that gold star, then maybe she'll notice me. Maybe she'll really, really want to understand what I'm doing and want to be around me.
So how was that, reaching for that perfection, never quite getting there, and then maybe not getting what you thought in that reaching?
Yeah, it was hard. It was really hard, and I kept going and going and trying to, right, be that perfect person. And as we know, there's no such thing as perfect. And what happened was, over the years, everything just kept building and building and building and building. And I was suppressing everything that I was feeling and then I just lost it. Anxiety, depression, and yeah.
How'd you get out of that?
How did I get out of?
Yeah, like, so you're reaching, and then what was the point where you felt that the reaching wasn't like, it wasn't the answer, or it wasn't?
Yeah, actually, it wasn't until I was about 25 years old, and I fell. And that's when everything happened for me. I lost it. I had gotten my dream job of being a kindergarten teacher, and the first week in, I had 100 panic attacks. And I even was getting, from the principal, he was saying, wow, she's doing amazing, all these things. So here I am trying to be that perfectionist, right? And do all these things, but I wasn't believing it. And I was just wanting my mom to see me so badly. And I still didn't feel like she really did. And what happened was I had to fall. I had to fall, and I had to go through my horrible, horrible anxiety that turned into depression. And now it's beautiful what we have. We're in business together, and it's incredible. But it wasn't always like that. And for me, I couldn't consciously talk to her about it and then work through it. But we have been able to work through it with the method that we've created.
How was that process, what your relationship was with your mom back then to where it is now? How was that healing process, or that reconciliation, however you want to word it?
Wow. That's crazy. I would say it's a 180. It's totally a 180, because here I didn't feel like she even saw me. She didn't understand me, right? Like, I didn't even feel like I was there. Felt like I was pushed into a corner. And now she's like, you got to share your story. You got to do these things. Like, I see you, and it's so beautiful. And I know it felt so horrible at the time, but now I look at it and I love where I was, because I'm able to help so many other people.
Can you describe the emotion briefly of that, of where you're at now in the relationship with your mom?
I would say joy. There's so much joy, and we're so close, and we're close in a different kind of way. And that joy is just so easeful, and I don't feel like I have to impress her or anything like that. She just lets me be who I am.
What's the biggest thing you learned from your parents, good or bad?
The biggest thing that I learned from them is how to love. They are still married today, and I always saw them. They always took time for one another, and they always had us realize that, dad and mom come first with one another, and then we come in later to make sure that they get their space. And yeah, they've taught me that.
Could you tell us about your first love and how that felt? It's whatever you associate as your first love, person, place, thing, hobby, etc.
Wow. It's funny because I would think my first love was in 3rd grade. And it was me, right, trying to chase this guy who I didn't know if he actually liked me, but he would bring me gifts and all those things, but I didn't know. But it's really nuts, because that's when everything started for that boy craziness and chasing that. And then I realized, I'm like, what am I doing? It just was such a realization later on in life.
What about your first loss or heartbreak and how that felt? Same thing, whatever you associate.
Yeah, my first loss, I would say, is my dog Snuggles. We had this pug, and it was really hard because I knew something wasn't right with her during the night, and I woke up my mom, and she didn't believe me. And then she was really sick, and we didn't end up being able to have her.
Would that loss teach you? Would that grief teach you? At a young age?
Yeah, at a young age, I would say it did. It did teach me that you have to speak up. You can't stay quiet, because if you do, right, you can lose your dog, but you can lose so much more.
Who would you say first taught you what love is and how?
I would say it was my parents that taught me about love. And like I said, they taught us by their actions. And I just always dreamed of having that kind of relationship.
What's love to you now versus what it was to you as a kid? How do those two different loves feel in contrast?
Oh my goodness, they're completely different. I mean, here I was, right, in third grade thinking that was love. Not at all, right? And then now I'm married to my husband. We've been married for almost 9 years, and we've been through a lot. When I say a lot, we've been through a lot. And love is not just that pretty picture, right? Love is so much more. There's heartbreak. There's different things that we go through, and we have to learn how to compromise and be there for one another.
What are some of those things?
What are some of those things?
That have built that love for you, those events that have built, your understanding of love?
Yeah, so about 6 years ago, we were, almost 7 years ago now, we were newly married, and it was crazy because I was so sick with anxiety and depression, and I was practically living at my parents' house, and he wanted to stay with me, and I was treating him horrible. And I didn't fall and have these events only one time. I went through this 3-4 times, and the fourth time he was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't be with you. I'm taking our baby, and we're just not going to be together. And that's when I had that realization that I'm like, what am I doing here? What is this love? And over time, we've been working through getting back to not only where we started, but really creating a new foundation for our love.
How's that foundation? What's the heart of that foundation for you?
The heart of the foundation, I would say it's really, there's two things. I was going to say being intentional, for sure, but also really being respectful of one another's times and what that other person needs at that moment, and really making sure that you can make that happen.
What's a good day look like for you?
A good day? A good day is when I'm able to really be doing things that fulfill me and making a difference. And I feel like when I am able to do those things, such as it could be volunteering in the schools, reading books. It could be sharing my story to make sure that people feel hope. It could be, going on a hike with my husband. But it has to have that freedom in it. It has to have that part of this is fulfilling, and this is why I'm here living my life.
What's a bad day look like, and how do you get through that bad day?
Gosh, when I think of a bad day, I think of, 7 years ago when I was having my anxiety and my depression. I was really bad. I mean, I was waking up, felt horrible. My stomach was horrible. having panic attacks, waiting for my mom to come get me when I'm 25 years old. And I literally was living at her house. And I could hardly eat any of my sandwich. It took me 20 minutes to eat a sandwich. And the only way that I could calm my mind at the time was journaling, but it wasn't just the normal journaling, it was doing math in my journal. So here I was writing in my journal, but I was doing math because I had to somehow control myself. And then after that, there I was at nighttime, shaking in bed, trying to pull the covers over my head, and even trying to grab my keys to see if someone would just notice me and feel how I'm feeling. And I would say that was probably one of the worst days ever.
What was the process of you, getting out of that depression?
Yeah, so it's really interesting because I had tried to go the traditional route. I had tried to go to therapy and specialists and tried really everything, you name it, and it wasn't working for me. And so what was the start of everything changing was when one day my sister got this message from God to make me this, it's called a realization meditation. And it was just helping me kind of go through my life. And it not only changed my life, but it saved my life. It helped me get out of my head and into my body. And then from there, now I've been able to incorporate our method that we've created because of what I've gone through to be able to move past those things. And right, we're always learning, we're always growing. So I use this method every single day to make sure that I'm able to not feel that anxiety, not feel that depression, and if I am, there's a reason behind it.
What exactly is the realization meditation, for example?
Yeah, so her realization meditation really is an idea of her, in a way, it's how she does her coaching and how she's a practitioner. And what she does is she has someone feel the physical reactions that are in their body. So this is someone who can feel a tightening in their throat or a pit in their stomach or any kind of feeling in their body. And what she does is she helps get you to feel what you're actually feeling, not what you're showing to the world. So really getting real with yourself, really being able to admit those things that people may say is negative, but it's actually your truth. And she kind of takes someone through that.
So say if you know, because I'm just curious, and I know your sister.
Yeah, yeah.
So say if someone has, they're like, I feel it in my stomach, I feel it in my wrist, or once you pinpoint the area, what is the next step? Do you feel it, and then how do you work through that?
So that is the thing. So the realization meditation is amazing for an awareness, to be able to really start to notice, hey, I feel this pain, or right, something doesn't feel right. And so where the magic comes in is when you learn the method. And the method is a one-on-one experience, whether it be intensive, in person, or virtual. And so there's different stages that one goes through. And what they do is they start with, right, those big traumas that we've been through. But what we've realized over the last 6, almost 7 years of working with hundreds of individuals is that it's not in the big traumas. It's in the little traumas. And so from those realization meditations, you're able to start really getting into your body to be able to get to that point where you can be like, wow, I didn't even realize that affected me. But that's why a lot of people can't move forward.
What's a person or an event that's shaped you, good or bad?
It's actually my little sister, Danielle. She has helped me grow so much. And I would say it was kind of bittersweet because she's very direct, she's very deep and fierce, but she knows her stuff. And so she can read through me. She can literally be like, nope, Carly, that's not how you're feeling. Like this is what's going on. And she can call me out and I can take constructive criticism. And she has helped me become the person that I am today.
What inspires you?
What inspires me? This is probably a different answer than you've gotten, but really kids inspire me. Kids really inspire me because they just are so like happy, and most of them, right? They just get up and try again and do all these things. And I've always seen, right, all the strengths in children. And I just wish that we could live like children. I feel like so many of us are just rushing and not being present and just, right, just trying to get done with the day. And it's at the end of the day, what are we really here for? So, yeah, I would definitely say children.
What's been a humbling experience for you?
A humbling experience. It's crazy because, like I told you, growing up, I didn't feel like people saw me, heard me, understood me. And now I talk to people and they say things like, Carly, like, you've inspired me. Your story is so powerful. And I really love being able to hear about your story and how you're helping people. And it's so humbling to me because, right, it was such a horrific thing that I went through. But to be able to be there, to let people know that, hey, you don't have to feel like this if you don't want to, that's so humbling to me.
For this next question, if you can go in your mind and think, this life event can be mental, physical, or spiritual. Can you tell us about a time in your life that you can relate with the word war?
Yes, absolutely. About that day that I was explaining, that felt like war. I literally got so depressed to the point where I was like, I don't want to be here. And when people, right, go into war, that can be coming up for them. And so, yes, I felt like I was at war every single day with myself. And I had no idea, no joke, I never in a million years would see myself here today. Mm-mm.
How does it feel to not be in that war anymore? If you see it that way.
Yes, absolutely. It's incredible. It seems so cliche to say this, but life can be so beautiful. And when we're going through all of our junk and all our things that we're going through, it seems, right, never ending. And to be able to wake up now and feel so much ease and be present and really focus on the things that matter, it's so peaceful now.
So same type of question. Go in your mind and think, this life event can be mental, physical, or spiritual. Can you tell us about a time in your life that you can relate to the word peace?
Yeah, Yeah, and now, right? So the life that I'm living now, I'm able to feel that peace every single day. And if I don't, I know why. I can go in and figure out why I'm not feeling peaceful. But life is about, right? Feeling that joy, feeling peaceful. And what's happened is society has made us believe that we have to be in that war and all these different things, and we don't. And so I would say the life that I'm living now is very, very peaceful.
Can you tell us about a truly difficult time in your life, how it felt, how you endured?
Yeah. So, I mean, going back 6-7 years now, it was unbearable. I mean, the thoughts that were coming through my head, and I couldn't calm down. I was newly married, and I didn't want to be married, and I was living under tables, and I was 25 years old, and I was pretty much like a shadow of my mother's. And it was so hard. I mean, to the point where I did not think that I wanted to be here anymore. And while it was hard, I decided to really take what I went through and apply it to being able to help other people. I've always been that teacher. Like early childhood, elementary, that was my jam. Like I always had that teaching in me, and I wanted to be able to teach in another way, right? To be able to bring awareness to families, to help them really understand, hey, you may have gone through something really, really hard, but how can we bring it to make an impact in the world? And so I would say, right? It didn't just happen. It wasn't just like one day I said, I'm going to change, and I was able to change. Some people can do that, and that is beautiful. But I had to work through a lot of suppressed memories that, right? I didn't know I had brushed it under the rug. And that's when things started to really change.
How was it when you first started resurfacing those memories and going through, working through those memories and the emotions and all that?
Yeah. So when people think about working through, right, going through the hard events and the memories and the emotions and everything, we have been taught that it has to be painful, and it has to be grueling, and it has to take years, and right, to unpack everything. And with the method, it is fast, it's non-grueling, and it's almost like a bee sting. So like you feel it for a second, and then it's gone, and it never comes back. And if it comes back, that means there's just like little aspects that are coming back. But I'm not even kidding. You literally have a life that you never thought imaginable.
How'd that feel for you when you went through that healing?
Foreign, very foreign. Like, what? I can be not anxious and not depressed, and I can feel present and have ease in my life. That was the opposite of what I grew up with. Everything was just so, I had no control, and now I have so much control. And yeah, it was a 180.
What's the happiest moment in your life?
The happiest moment in my life. It's really crazy, but it was the day that Danielle, my little sister, realized that she really did have a God-given gift, And it's not just for her, it's for our society. Because with what she's doing, we're able to teach children how to make sure that they can speak up for themselves, right? They can feel safe to speak up for themselves, and they can repair our world. So when this business, when it became something, when she was ready to do something about it, that was probably the happiest day of my life, because it's not just about me. This business is not about us. It's about our whole world. It's about society. It's about making sure that everyone is able to find what works for them. And if they haven't found it, that to help them know, hey, it's out there. And so that, I would say, is the happiest, joyful day of my life.
What keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? Oh my goodness. What keeps me up at night? All of these individuals that are committing suicide for no reason. They think that's who they are. And I was there. I mean, that was me. And now, granted, I don't know if I ever could have done anything. I don't know. But I mean, I ended up in the psychiatric hospital. But the thing is that so many people are not here today because they think that's who they are. They think that because they grew up not being wanted, that that's who they are, that that's who they have to be, and it's painful. And they think that they can't change. And so the only way out is that way. And that really keeps me up at night, because it doesn't have to be like that. There is an answer, a solution for everyone. There is. And it's really hard for me because we live in a world now with so much toxic positivity. Be happy, say I'm grateful, all these things. But what if that's not someone's truth? What if they don't feel that way? And then they're told to keep saying those things, but it's not working? And they feel literally like, who am I? Like, there's something wrong with me. Why can society do this, but I can't? And so they go down these roads, and then they're no longer here anymore. Because they could have addictions, right? They could end up having diseases because all of that tension in their body is stuck in their body. And it kills me. It kills me that we think we have to live like this and feel like this and feel like there's nothing for us out there. And that is the farthest from the truth.
What keeps you going every day?
What keeps me going every day? Society, the people that don't fit into society, that feel misunderstood, that don't feel heard, don't feel seen, and they become these perfectionists and try to do the things that I did as a kid to be able to be seen. And those people that think there's no answer for their health issues. When I mean health, even sleep, right? They can't sleep at night. They have their headaches, their migraines, stomach aches. Those people that have been going to doctor after doctor, specialist after specialist, trying everything, and nothing is working for them, and they feel like they're literally, something's wrong with them. Those are the people that is why I keep going. Because every single person, no matter, right, how high they are or low they are, their caliber, anything, everyone deserves to know that they can make a difference and that they are powerful and they have strengths. And that's what keeps me going.
Imagine you're in the hospital today with only hours to live. What would be your regrets, if any?
Wow. I don't think I have any regrets because I am speaking up. I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that those people are going to get what they need. Now, right, 7 years ago, I would definitely have regrets, but no, I would say I am doing what I need to be doing, and I will fight for those people every single day.
You tell me what your dreams were as a kid. What are your dreams now?
Dreams now. Dreams now are to make sure that our world does not have such a gap anymore, that people are starting to find their answers and their solutions of things that they thought for so long they could not solve. And to really create, in a funny way, a new society, a new place that people can have community, to be able to come together, to realize that there's nothing wrong with them. They just, right? They feel different. They feel misunderstood. They don't feel seen. They don't feel heard. And to help them realize that they're not alone. And that is my dream. That is my dream, because when you are able to be there to bring people together, to help them see who they are and help them get to that point, it's not only helping them. Let's say it's a mom, right? Or a woman who wants to be pregnant. You're helping her not only be able to bring that baby into the world feeling calm, but also helping her to raise that child to be able to speak up for themselves, to be able to say what they need to say and how they're feeling, and be able to repair our world. So it's not just affecting one person. It's affecting so many other people. It's like that butterfly effect. That's it?
Is there anything you'd like to add? Or if we didn't, hit a topic that you wanted to talk about, now would be the time. It's open floor.
No, I think you got everything.